Welcome to the School of Love, the place where miracles are normal. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, the School of Love. My name is Maria and I'm helping people discover their inner potential for love towards oneself and towards the others. Today I invite you to a new episode from the series Things I Wish I Knew When I Was Younger. In every episode of this series, I delve into a topic, into a crucial topic for our lives, which most of us, at least I fall into this category, find out, learn how to deal with it way too late in life. And in every episode, I explain the 5 steps through which one can overcome those problems, those difficulties, so that one can start the trajectory towards a life of fulfillment and contentment. In today's episode, I'm talking about toxic attachment. I shall start with a definition of toxic attachment, and then I will explain the 5 steps of how to identify and overcome toxic attachment patterns. If you are new to the channel, at this moment I would like to ask you to please consider subscribing, sharing, liking, commenting. Thank you very, very much. This helps us not only with the mysterious algorithm which seems to dominate the YouTube galaxy, but also with contributing to the expansion of the community of humans doing their best to impact positively the world and those around them by discovering their authentic selves and living life wholeheartedly. Thanks again. So toxic attachment is a type of attraction we feel towards activities, humans, objects, which are inherently bad. That's why they're toxic. And this type of attraction, while we know it's not good, think of addictions, we cannot resist it. We give in every time we decide we keep our distance from it or from that person. So this is a toxic attachment. The toxic attachment is a type of very strong pull or push towards something or someone which obviously is very bad for us. And this can happen in terms of activities like addictions. This can happen in terms of objects like impulsive shopping or like collecting trash, or so not being holding things, or not being able to declutter our living or working environment. And this can happen to humans. So repeating patterns of unhealthy relating to other people, be it in romantic relationships, be it in family relationships, be it in friendships, be it in work relationships. So this is what the toxic attachment is. And the first step in starting to deal with it is to become aware of it. As I detail in some of my other videos, there are some specialists who assert that the healing process is 90% of the healing process, of any healing process, is awareness. In my opinion, is more than or towards 95% of the healing process, which is completed through awareness. Because when we become aware of our patterns, when we become aware of what destroys us through familiarity, and so these toxic attachment patterns have emerged and have been developed and encouraged in childhood, in early childhood and also in adolescence as survival strategies. Highly probable, due to toxic parenting environment, and family environment, and so on. So we we repeat these toxic attachment patterns, and we fall into these toxic attachments due to their familiarity. And the first step is to become aware of what we are doing. So let's take a very clear example. Let's say you have a habit of forming unhealthy relationships with unhealthy partners. Let's say you are a man and you keep on having relationships with women who are simply not good for you. Let's say either they have various types of addiction, or they cheat on you, or they just don't have their lives together. Let's say they don't have a job, or they cannot hold a job, or their house is very messy, or they don't have a house, or they're not able to pay their rent, or they are lying, or they are stealing. So they are women who are not good for you. But in spite of promising yourself every single time after such a disastrous relationship ends that you'll never ever do it again, next time you're in the same situation. So you repeat it. It's not only a toxic attachment style, but you also repeating it. So it's what psychologists call repetition compulsion. So you repeat it again and again. So it's essentially the same story repeated with various partners, with different partners. Let's say, again, this can be also a different example would be, for instance, work environments under your level. Let's say you're very good professionally, but due to whatever reasons in your past, you're not able to deal emotionally and mentally to a level of tension and stress which comes with your level of professionalism. And due to that, you prefer subconsciously to stay in work situations which are way below your professionalism, but they feel comfortable. Again, and this is, they feel comfortable. You feel safe somehow. You just want your peace of mind. But what happens is that you'll have highly complicated and highly complex work relationships with people who either envy you or cannot deal with you, or who feel inferior towards you, who simply hate you and either isolate you or actively mob and sabotage you. So all sorts of these complicated relationships or work relationships, which essentially emerge from the fact that you're just in the wrong workplace, and then you decide, I change my workplace, yeah. And what happens is that next place will be just the same. So again, you repeat the same story, but with different how they call in chemistry, with different variables. Yeah? But essentially, it's the same story, the same experiment. By becoming aware of why am I doing this? Why am I having all these toxic relationships? Why am I working in work environments way below my level? Then suddenly you will have to give yourself an answer. And the answer will be either, well, that's all I know how to deal with. And then you'll observe that any more or less normal woman feels boring to you, not exciting. And what normal is for other people, for you is just boring. Or in case of working environment, you will notice that anything more than your current workplace is you cannot deal emotionally and mentally with the stress and tension which comes with it, which are not necessarily complicated or difficult. It's just that you don't know how to deal with it. So becoming aware will force you to give yourself some answers to actually very very plain questions. And then the second step is to identify the trigger. Why am I glued to that workplace, to that person, to that activity, to that project? What precisely makes that object or personal activity both attractive and toxic, as I said? Yeah, you want a marriage, you want a relationship, you want to be loved, and you want to love. But for whatever reasons, it's always hurtful. It's always a disappointment. You want to contribute to society. You want to be a good citizen by creating as much value as we can in your work. But for whatever reasons, you always fall into these toxic patterns of relating to your coworkers because they feel inferior to you. They feel negatively challenged by your very high work ethics, or actually simply not, they're not compatible with your level of professionalism. And the next question is, why can't you avoid or soothe this toxic, this unhealthy attachment and then move on with it? Because, and here comes number 3, there is a reward. There is a payoff. When you are in, so let's say, in those toxic relationships with the unhealthy person, you feel superior to her. You feel better than her. You feel like the parental figure you never had. You feel, in a way, confirmed and validated. The same goes for the toxic workplace and for the complicated, not in a good sense, relationships with your coworkers. You feel superior to them. You feel validated. You feel, I'm better, I'm safe because I'm so good, I'm safe, they cannot fire me, which probably compensates for a sense of lack of security, safety, protection in your childhood and in your family of origin. So there is a payoff. There is a payoff why you stick with that pattern. Identifying that payoff, identifying that emotional reward will lead you to number 4. Usually leads, so there are some people who reject dealing with their emotions, with their problems, but usually it leads to number 4, which is find healthy way to deal with triggers, such as proactively looking at the memory, the place, the present, the person, and facing its reality, facing its truth, instead of running away from it. So if you see the toxic person you're involved with, and who is usually is the same, just different citizens, so to say, different face, but the same story, see for what it is, with compassion, not with judgment, not I'm better than her, I can make her be better as well. No. She's just the way it is. She is. And the past ones were the same. But the common denominator is me. So I let her go with peace, you'll feel grudges, you'll feel resentments, you'll feel anger for all the years spent on these toxic patterns. But the idea is to feel all those grudges, resentments, disappointments, to stay with them, and they will lose their grip over your psyche, and you'll become free. So that you can move on to number 5, which is be grateful for the person, for the experience. Be grateful for it, and also be grateful for your past. Do not deny or reject it, because it doesn't go away. It stays there, and the more you try to repress it, the more it will want to bubble to the surface. So don't reject it. Stay with it. Feel it. And be grateful for all the experiences in your life, because they made you who you are. And who you are and who you are becoming is just unique and a gift to the world. That would be for today. Thank you for joining me, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again very soon. Love and peace to you all.